Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Gene, super heavyweight. I wasn't planning on going live, this close to after the game, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there. I've noticed that a lot of people have, put their opinions out of what they thought of the game, and you have some fans that are looking at the game as wins and losses. So I wanted to get my thoughts out there, and really preseasons for strictly evaluating talent. And what we've seen tonight was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got to see players that we had questions about. Some guys that kind of stuck out to me. First and foremost, Noah Spence looked good. You could see the flashes, and you could see that he's as good as he was as built. So I'm excited about that. And you know what? I'm not jumping out the window or anything like that. These are just things that I saw last night. First thing I noticed that Mike Glennon didn't look like Mike Glennon from years past. He looks like he may have sort of regressed a little bit. I don't know. Just watching him play, it just wasn't very inspiring. He was the throws weren't as sharp, and his accuracy wasn't where it should be. And once again, decision making, that thing keeps popping up. How is we've always questioned his decision making, and what I saw tonight, I just don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. What does Tampa need to do? And it's just it's it is what it is, but it's something to definitely fans keep an eye on. Is he going to improve throughout these preseason games? Will he start to get that sharpness back? Will he start to get that accuracy? What are we going to see? So things to really keep your eye on, fans, and that to me is a very big one. Just when you look at Mike Glennon and what he was doing. Another thing that kind of concerned me was the wide receiver core. I know, once again, first game, these are just observations, and anything can happen. The roster is fluid, so it could go from it could just automatically, you could have a guy that stands out, like Russell Shepard did. I mean, we've talked about Russell Shepard and how he we see him in practice, we see him in and not in pads, and he looks amazing. He's making all these catches, and then he kind of disappears. But in that game last night, I was very happy with what I saw. But when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have Mike Evans, you have Vincent Jackson, and we have Adam Humphries, who is at this time our third wide receiver. But other than that, it's just a steep drop off when it comes to quality wide receivers, and that can be somewhat concerning moving forward into the season. So that's another thing to keep an eye on, is the depth at wide receiver. I believe that you have some players that will step up, and obviously the coaches like them, or they wouldn't be on the roster right now. We're in a mode where the general manager wants to win now. So it's very important for these guys to play their best. And kind of going along with that, the offense outside of Jameis Winston and what he was able to do didn't get in the end zone. They, it was kind of, once again, it's that first game of the season, and you can't read a lot into it because you have vanilla plays and you have guys that are trying to make the team. And, as I mentioned before, this is a way for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to evaluate talent, and that's all these preseason games are for. But you could always get an idea of what you might have by looking at some of these games and some of these players. Another guy that I was real happy with was Vernon Hargreaves. And, I loved his coverage play, and, I thought he did a good job last night as well. So I hope to see more from him. And, the secondary was such a sore spot for all fans last year. And all the big plays that were given up, all the yards that were given up. And, it's nice to see a nice mix of players that are really stepping up their game. And speaking of stepping up their game, Jude Aje-Barima is playing very well. And I am pleasantly surprised to see him go into the offseason. And I mentioned this before on previous podcasts. This guy took time to step up his game, work on his footwork, work on just being physical, just work on his overall game. And it's kind of showing right now where we've seen him in OTAs, we've seen him in mini camp, seen him in practice, and now we're seeing him in preseason where he's looking pretty good. He's looking solid. So very exciting to have those position battles when you have players that look like they can be quality players. So fans, I'm excited about the defense. I really am. Based on what we saw last year, I think the defense is going to do a lot better. And you could see the coaching. And I say this because I look at the third quarter and I look at certain plays where all the secondary had everybody covered. And I realized, once again, this is preseason, but just the fact that these guys are in position to make plays and they're playing a lot more discipline than what you saw last year. I know we had 10 penalties. This is the first game, and I'm gonna be upfront and say I expect this to get better. I definitely expect this to get better. So, when your head coach is not happy with the play and he calls everybody out, I would be scared to be in the room with him when he's actually talking to the players. He was talking to the media when he was saying this, and you could see the frustration, but I'm positive that he was not happy with what he saw last night. So a lot of things to look for. And I expect, with these coaches, and we can see where these coaches are teachers, we can see where this team looks a little bit more poised than what you saw last year. So I expect market improvement. I expect this team to get better. The 2 turnovers, can't have it. You can't have it. And these types of things, they have to get better. I've heard a lot of people talking about Kenny Bell. And I'm going to go out here. I'm going to say this. I'm not making excuses. It is what it is. What you have to keep in mind, Kenny Bell didn't play last year, due to injury. So he's behind where he should be. And you can only do so many mental reps, and you have to physically get out there and play the game. So let's give this guy a chance, and let's see what he can do. I know Dirk Cutter likes him, and this is the first game. Maybe this may be the switch to get him to where he needs to be. So that's something definitely to look forward to. So, I just want to take a few minutes to jump on here and, talk a little bit of football. I for one, I think this team is going to improve. I think this is just, a bump in the road. These things happen. And, as long as they learn from they learn from their mistakes and they move forward and they're not continually repeating. I mean, it's something to really look forward to. So, fans, hey, you should be excited. The defensive line looked really good. Howard Jones, a guy that you really haven't heard his name in camp. He's a guy that I've been very high on since last year, and he was out there making plays. So, players like that, this is your time to shine. This is your time to get out there and show what you can do. So, really exciting times, to be very honest. Really exciting. And, other than that, those were the big things that I kind of took away from the game. And you never know. I mean, I believe that with the start of camp, with the start of practice coming back tomorrow after watching game film, they're going to have some things that they can work on and have some things that they can really, get to improve on. But, as far as I'm concerned, I think that this team is, once again, especially on defense. They're heading in the right direction and get to improve on. It's something that I am definitely looking forward to. And let's see, can't see any comments out here. But yeah, that's basically it. I really want to encourage the fans. Hey, be sure to leave me some comments. Give me your thoughts on what you thought about the game, and where are your concerns, or who did you like, or any of that, for that matter. I for one think that Tampa, if we can avoid the injury bug, which we were very fortunate last night to not have any major injuries. And, I would like to see some of the backups and the reserves getting a chance to play and showing what they can do too. So, you get a good idea of what you have on this team. And, that's something, as well to consider, is that, it's important that we get the right players. And it's important that, Tampa is pushing in the right direction. So, our next game is going to be August 20th, and it's going to be at Jacksonville against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that, once again, went out in free agency and made some moves, and they are really working on trying to get their team together to win now as well. So this will be a good test for our defense against the Blake Bortles and this Jacksonville Jaguars offense, to see, kind of where they stack up and get a chance to see where some of these players are. But, that's pretty much all I had for tonight. Those are my thoughts. I'll go into a little bit more detail next week on the podcast. And, I hope for everybody to join. And if you can, leave some comments, give me some likes, give me some suggestions. It's a fan show. I'm always looking forward to hearing from the fans. So I want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes to check this out. I know it's not as long, but, I just wanted to get something out there, my thoughts on the game. All right. So that's it for me. And everybody have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of football.